Welcome to the part 2 of Jetstream topic presented by me, Priya Singh Sanger. So, in this topic, we will be covering what are the different types of Jetstream and their significance, as well as the scientific mechanism that explain the jet stream anywhere on the Earth surface. So, we already know jet stream in the troposphere, there are 5, 6 types. If we see in the sketch, like the one tropical areas, the jet stream is called tropical easterly jet stream, which moves from east to west, which is a temporary and seasonal jet stream, which is found at the height of 12 to 14 kilometers in the latitude 15 to 25-degree north, and it is moving from east to west. In the subtropical areas, there are jet stream in both the hemisphere, north as well as south, that is moving from west to east. Okay, and it is between the Hadley cell and the Ferrel cell at the latitude of 30-degree north and 30-degree south. And both the jet stream of subtropical jet stream, which is moving from west to east. So the complete name, sometime in some textbook you read subtropical westerly jet stream. Now, these are permanent jet stream. It flows throughout the year. Okay. Now, the if you go further in higher latitude, at around 60-degree latitude, you will find the polar jet stream in the northern and the southern hemisphere. That is also moving from the west to east. Okay, and it is found between the polar cell and the Ferrel cell. So these are the a few jet streams, but there are some low-level jet streams also there in the troposphere. There are two low-level jet stream of importance for us. One is called Somalian jet, okay, which is moving from southwest direction towards northeast direction. It flows at the height of 3 to 5 kilometers. But and the second is the African easterly jet stream. That is also a low-level jet stream which is moving from the Sahara Desert to the Gulf of Guinea. Okay, and it is also moving from east to west. Now, these are all tropical jet stream. Okay, and which is found in the troposphere only. Most of the jet streams. That's what the Somalian jet stream or the African jet stream is also called by the name called tropical low level jet stream or tropical waves too. But in the stratosphere, there is a one jet stream over the poles called as stratospheric jet stream at the height of 50 kilometers, or another name for this is also called by the name called polar night jet stream, which is found in the stratospheric layer. That's why it's called stratospheric jet stream. Now, why these jet streams develop? So, the reason for the jet stream formation is a temperature contrast or the pressure gradient. Where will be the pressure gradient or temperature contrast will be high? It is a place where the two alternate air masses are meeting, and such boundaries in the upper atmosphere become the location of jet stream formation. Now, wherever the temperature contrast is high, so what is going to happen? So air start, suppose this, observe this location. So these are isobars which are closely packed representing the high pressure. When you're observing location B, A, where the isobars are loosely packed, so the pressure is low. So the wind always move from high pressure to what called low pressure. Now when these are coming closer, like, so when the pressure gradient is more, so the wind speed is also high. But whenever two alternate air masses are meeting, which you can see in the globe, actually in the globe there is a temperature difference between the tropical regions of equators to the polar region, and that temperature difference along with the rotation of the earth produce three atmospheric cycles, and three atmospheric cycles per hemisphere in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere. And this concept is called as meridional atmospheric circulation system. So it consists of three cells. 0 to 30-degree is called Hadley cell, 30 to 60-degree called Ferrel cell, 60 to 90-degree called as the polar cell. And where is the interaction of these two alternate cells? Okay, these interaction is at 30 degree. You can see the Hadley cell and the Ferrel cells are interacting at subtropical location at the high at the latitude of 30 degree. Okay, and there the subtropical jet stream develop, which moves from west to east. Similarly, at the 60-degree latitude in both the hemisphere, polar jets form. The reason for the formation of polar jet is interaction between the Ferrel cell and the polar cell. Now, wherever the contrast of temperature or pressure is high between the alternate air cycles, then the speed of the jet stream will be what called stronger. So, a question arises, guys, where will be the jet stream stronger, in the polar jet or in the subtropical jet? So answer is what called polar jet. The reason is very simple. The Ferrel cell and the polar cell interaction is more stronger compared to the what called Hadley cell and the Ferrel cell. Okay. Now in which season the contrast in is increasing? Okay, in the winters the contrast increases. As a result of this, which season jet stream becomes stronger? Answer is again the winters become stronger. So what we have understood, the permanent jet stream which is at 30 degree and 60 degree. Okay, at 30 degree we call as subtropical westerly jet stream, which is formed by the meeting of Hadley and the Ferrel cell, and at 60 degree there is a formation of polar jet stream formed due to the interaction of Ferrel and the polar cell. Okay, in winter season jet stream become stronger and move towards which direction? Towards the equator. Okay, in summers as the energy shift towards the higher latitude, so also this jet stream also push towards the pole. Now this is the location of a jet stream. The role of this permanent jet stream, polar jet stream as well as subtropical jet stream, is to define the weather conditions of what? The mid latitude as well as the higher latitude weather conditions. So how the weather or the climate of this has been defined? So it is defined because of the wavy nature of the jet stream. So when the cold air, suppose in this air, the cold air is been pushed downward. So it's creating a one kind of pressure. So here the warm air has been pushed in this direction. So because of this wavy nature, so it will forming the vortex or kind of a cyclonic or anticyclonic condition. So locations of convergence on the ground as well as what called locations of what called divergence of air on the ground. Wherever the convergence of air is being created, and this location is defined as what called cyclonic condition or cyclonic weather system is developed. It's kind of a storm is. But wherever divergence of air is developed, this produce anti-cyclonic condition. Air start diverging away from the region, and these kind of storms is affecting both the mid latitude weather as well as the higher latitude weather condition. You will see the into the details later on. Now there are other jet stream which is also produced by the temperature contrast. Okay, there is a one seasonal jet stream which is observed in the summer season in the month of June till September over Southeast Asia and the South Asia, crossing latitude 15 to 25 degree north only. Okay, and this arises because of the heating of the Himalayan Tibetan zone in the summers. Okay, so we already know that world highest topography is what? Himalayan Tibetan zone, with the altitude average height of the Tibetan area is around 4,500 meters, as well as the Great Himalayas height is more than 6,100 meters, and this form the world highest topography. So world highest topography in summers receive the highest insolation. When it is receiving the highest insolation, okay, so its temperature is becoming what called higher, and that's what in summer we call the Himalayan Tibetan zone acting as a what called heat engine. Because of this heat engine get activated and it producing the low pressure over Himalayan Tibetan zone, and this low pressure will produce the jet stream, okay, and which is start moving from the Himalayan Tibetan zone in the upper atmosphere toward the southern Indian Ocean. Okay, when this has been established, it crosses. Now, if you think in this very simply, so jet stream is in the upper atmosphere at the great height, 12 to 14 kilometers. It is moving from north towards the south or towards the equator. When they are moving in northern hemisphere, as for the rotation of the earth, so in which direction they get deflected? Towards the right. So as a result, they are moving from east to west. That is the reason India subcontinent as well as Southeast Asia experience the tropical jet stream that moves from east to west and called as tropical easterly jet stream, and it is flowing at a great height around 14 kilometers that maintain what kind of condition? Cyclonic condition. And this cyclonic condition attracts the what called the southwest monsoon from the Indian Ocean, which picks up moisture and cause rainfall. So the reason, if you want to say that when will be the southwest monsoon will be reaching into India, okay, so for two conditions are required from the jet stream perspective. One is the withdrawal of subtropical westerly jet stream from India, and the onset of tropical easterly jet stream over India. In winter season, so over India there are other kind of jet streams role. That is the role of what called subtropical westerly jet stream, which is responsible for the northeast or the retreating monsoon in the winter season, as well as the western disturbance. See the details of this in the next class, also in the Indian monsoon chapters, guys. Okay, so is there any other jet streams are there? Yes, there are low level two jet streams in the troposphere, or is there in the tropical regions. One is called African easterly jet stream, and second is called the Somalian jet stream. So this African easterly jet stream is been observed in the latitude 10 degree north to 20 degree north, especially in the West African area. So this is a West Africa area. So here what happened? So during the summers, it is also not permanent type. It is intense in the month of June to October. Because of the intense heating of Sahara desert in summer, so the high pressure or low pressure conditions developed here, while the Gulf of Guinea, this is location is the Gulf of Guinea, is having a great moisture and relatively colder. So as a result of this is having the higher pressure now. So and the wind in the upper atmosphere start moving from where to where? Sahara to what called the Gulf of Guinea. It starts moving, and since it is moving from north to south direction, the northern hemisphere deflection is towards the right, so it is also moving from east to what called west. So that's what these also called as what? African easterly jet stream, because source of this jet stream is from which direction? East to west. That's what it's called, easterly jet stream. Okay, now reason is what called because of abnormal heating of this Saharan desert or West African landmass discrete. So what is the role of this jet stream? This jet stream is responsible for the West African monsoonal climate. The same as the tropical easterly jet stream are responsible for the monsoon over Indian subcontinent as well as in Southeast Asia. Now, is there other jet stream are also there? Yes, like the African easterly jet stream, which flows at the lower height around 3 to 5 kilometers. Similarly, at the Somalian coast, there is a jet stream which is moving from southwest direction to the southeast direction is observed. Okay, and it is also observed in the month of June till the August, and it is strongest and intense during that time. Why it has been arised? It arises due to the a thermal contrast between the highland of Africa. Okay, this is an highland of Africa, and the heating of these called Madagascar Island. Okay, so this Madagascar Island is heated, creating a what kind of pressure? Low pressure, isn't it not? Okay, and while this part, this African landmass is relatively what called cooler. So as a result, one jet stream in upper atmosphere upper atmosphere, not the ground, start moving from where to where? From the Madagascar region towards the highland. Once it crosses the equator and it turns towards the right and splits into two branches, and that branch which start moving parallel to the Somalian coast from southwest direction towards the northeast direction at the height of 3 to 5 kilometers, defined as what? Somalian jet. Since it is crossing the equator, that's why it is called cross equatorial jet stream also. And by another name called Findo Leto jet stream. Okay, so what is the role of this jet stream is? For the Indian monsoon, it is great importance because it is moving in the month of June till August. It push or feed the moisture to the southwest monsoon. In this way, it help in the intensification of southwest monsoon over Indian subcontinent. Whenever Somalian jet stream is intense, moving from southwest direction, push the southwest moisture laden wind on the ground from the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, and causing good rainfall. Which part of India? Especially in the southern India or in the western India receive good rainfall. This part of India you can think receiving the good rainfall. Okay. Now, there is a one more jet stream has been observed that is called stratospheric jet stream called polar night jet stream. The reason for this jet stream is the polar vortex movement, and where it has been observed, it is observed at the great height on the stratosphere at the height of 40 to 50 kilometer, which arise due to the interaction of two contrasting air masses called polar and the subpolar atmospheric cycles here. So here, what is the situation or what is the role of this? Now, when we are observing the Earth, guys, so over the poles at the height of 50 kilometers, this has been there. So the role of this is transporting the ozone depleting substance, isn't it not? When ozone depleting substance from all over the earth is carried by the pole, this called the wind system, atmospheric circulation system, as well as the jet stream, and finally at the poles, the polar night jet stream transport to the stratosphere. At the stratosphere is what is happening, where they meet with the triatomic oxygen, ozone depleting substance, especially the freons, chlorons, boron, isn't it or not? So this is cooling or refrigerating agents which meets there and depletes or decrease the amount of O3, and this process is called as what? The ozone depletion, or also and resulting into ozone hole over the Arctic and the Antarctic region. Is it clear, guys? Now, so the relationship is directly related to which event? Polar vortex movement, which is another topic we can see in the another class. So whenever the polar vortex is stronger, so the polar night jet stream is also what called stronger. Whenever polar night jet stream is stronger, it is transporting more ODS. As a result, ozone hole will be appeared more bigger and bigger. In which season the polar vortex is stronger, summers or winters? Answer is what called the winter season. It is stronger. As a result, what happened? This ozone hole over Arctic and Antarctic appeared bigger in the winter season. Now, one question has been there in the news nowadays. Polar vortex of Arctic and Antarctic are decreasing. What is the major reason for it? Is it the success of Montreal Protocol only, or the other factors are also there? Answer is there. That means weakening of what called polar vortex is weakening the what called polar night jet stream, and weakening of polar night jet stream is less transport of ODS there in the stratosphere. As a result, depletion work has been stopped, and it's resulting to the plugging of the ozone hole, or ozone depletion appeared the smallest. Is it clear? And this is a current affairs topic. Why? So please go through the concept of polar vortex and its connection with the ozone depletion process. Now, after understanding these important jet stream and its role, now understand the scientific mechanism of the jet stream formation. I mean the scientific way, scientific method to explain the jet stream. Okay, jet stream formation anywhere. So jet stream is an upper atmosphere fast fast wind, upper atmosphere fast blowing wind, okay, in the form of ribbon, in the form of ribbon. So and this ribbon movement is opposite of what? Opposite of ground conditions. Okay, and it's moved with the great speed, approximately around 250 kilometer per hour. So now, and the direction is opposite to the ground. So first we have to explain this process, and this is explained by the concept of what called as baroclinical curve. Okay, where we can compare the ground condition and the upper atmospheric conditions. Number two, jet stream has a one character, they flows parallel to the isobars, and such kind of balance called as geostrophic balance, and such winds are called as geostrophic wind. So we have to explain the geostrophic wind formation. That means your all the jet stream technically are geostrophic type of wind. It's nothing but is balance of the two forces, pressure gradient force and the Coriolis force. Wherever this is happening, wind blows parallel to isobars. Okay, and such kind of wind is called as the geostrophic wind. Suppose this side is a high pressure system, this side is a low pressure system. The wind always move from high pressure to what called low pressure. When it is moving, so because of this, the PGF direction is this, pressure gradient direction is this. Okay, when this become equal and opposite of what called Coriolis force, then the resultant wind start moving in. Okay, and this resultant wind direction is caused by the rotation of the earth. Okay, and this resultant direction become parallel to the high pressure cells and the low pressure cells, and this is called as, such winds become what? Geostrophic wind. Now we have to explain two things. One, baroclinical curve, and how the upper atmospheric jet stream become geostrophic in nature. That means they move parallel to the isobars. To understand this, first we will take out baroclinical, then we move to the geostrophic part. Let's see the concept of baroclinical curve, guys. So what happened here in the baroclinic? It's just an analysis of upper atmospheric condition and the ground condition. If we see the analyze the ground condition, okay, in the ground, this is the ground between, okay, between the equatorial regions and the polar region. We know at equator the height of the troposphere is maximum around 18 kilometer, but at the poles the height of troposphere is only 8 kilometers. There is not uniform in thickness, and because of that, jet stream is also what? Meandering in nature because of variable height of troposphere. At equator it is maximum around 18 kilometers. Now because of this, now the sunlight, now look at the action of sun. Look at the action of sun. Is it equator and the poles are equally heated? Is it equators and the poles are equally heated? Answer is no. And equator is experiencing the what called surplus heat. Annual heat surplus has been experienced at the equator side, while the polar region is experiencing what called heat deficit condition. And because of this, you can understand. Okay, because of this, please understand the pressure development in the ground condition. So because of heat surplus, high heat means air get warmed up and rises upward and giving rise to what kind of pressures? Low pressure on the ground, and this is called equatorial lows. But in the polar region, because heat deficit, colder air condense, contract and move sink downward, creating what kind of pressure? High pressure. Now this is the ground condition. When you are observing the upper atmosphere, okay, this is an upper atmospheric condition. So we are just imagining this is called lower atmosphere, and next we call as upper upper atmosphere, the air that is touching the tropopause, and the air that is touching the ground called as lower atmosphere. So what happened at the pressure over the equator near the tropopause? So upper limit of troposphere called as what? Tropopause. So here is the pressure over the equator is what type? High. And what is the pressure at the polar region at the along the tropopause is what called just over the high pressure is what called low pressure is there. So what is happening? The let's see wind. Wind of ground and upper atmosphere, the point of difference. Wind is arising due to what kind of force? Wind is a byproduct of three kind of force: pressure gradient force, Coriolis force, and called frictional force. Okay, PGF is the reason for the origin of wind originate from high pressure towards what called low pressure. Coriolis force is the reason for what called the final direction of the wind, and that is explaining the direction of what called deflection of the original wind. And frictional force is actually determining the final speed because of the retarding type of force which arise due to the roughness. Now here in the upper atmosphere, when you are observing in compared to the lower atmosphere, what is the PGF in the ground condition? Come on, PGF is always from high to what called low. The PGF in the lower atmosphere is from equator side towards pole or pole towards equator. Think guys, it is from pole to what called equator side because it is high towards low. So that means we understood one thing in lower atmosphere. In lower atmosphere, the PGF is from where to where? Sorry, from the poles to equator. So the air start moving from poles to equator side. But in the upper atmosphere, the situation get reversed because the pressure system is what? Opposite side. So as a result, when the PGF orientation in the upper atmosphere is from where to where? From, look at this, from where to where? From equator towards what called pole. As the height is increasing, it is also what called the PGF is also increasing. So as a result, the wind speed in the upper atmosphere is what called is strong, and this lines are indicating baroclinical curve. This sketch is called baroclinical curve. So we have explained this why in upper atmosphere means approximately above 4 kilometers height. Approximately it varies from place to place. Above 4 kilometer heights, what has been observed? The wind. Okay, that means an upper wind moves from where to where? Equator to poles or poles to equator? It's moving from equator to what called poles skew. What is the reason for it? Because high pressure on this side and low pressure on this. Wind move from high pressure to what? Low pressure direction. And this is diagram is called as baroclinical curve only. Now, when the wind start moving from equator to pole, and what happens to it? So then it encountered the second kind of force, and the second kind of force is called as what? Called Coriolis force. And the role of Coriolis force is what? To deflect the moving air. In northern hemisphere, it deflects towards the right, and in the southern hemisphere towards the left, as given by which law? Called Ferrell's law. You can see in this sketch, the wind is moving from, this is an equator guys. An equator, air is moving towards the pole in northern and southern side both. So in the northern it is deflecting towards the right. Okay, in southern it is deflecting towards the left. Because of the rotation of the earth, so as a result, most of the permanent jet stream is appear to be moving from where to where? West to what called east, both in the northern hemisphere as well as in what called southern hemisphere. Isn't it or not? Okay, this is the one factor. Now, our second objective is due to the rotation of earth to explain the what called geostrophic balance of air in upper atmosphere. Upper atmosphere. देखिए आप. So now here we are talking about air in upper atmosphere. Upper atmosphere is under two kind of balances. Okay, experience two kind of balance. One is the horizontal balance, and second is the vertical balance. The vertical balance, the air is a balance because of two forces, one acting towards the center of the earth called as what called the gravitational force, and second, which is opposite to the gravitational force, which equal and opposite, that is called centrifugal forces. Okay, that is, now this is acting in the vertical direction. We know the wind is not vertical process. Wind is what type of process? Horizontal process. So here the horizontal balance is obtained by the balance of two kind of forces again here. So this horizontal one is the PGF, means pressure gradient force, and second is the Coriolis force. So balance of these two forces, when PGF become equal and opposite to the Coriolis force, and this balance is called as the that horizontal balance is defined as what called the geostrophic balance. Okay, when there is a vertical balance, when gravitational force is equal and opposite of centrifugal force, and this balance, anyone, what is called as, this is called hydrostatic balance, guys. This balance is called hydrostatic balance. Now, question arise. So in the wind system, which balance is important, or both the balance is important? Answer is what? Geostrophic, because the wind system is a horizontal process, not a vertical process. So we have to look at the geostrophic balance. Now, the four cases we are observing with increasing height, like with increasing height in upper atmosphere, okay, in upper atmosphere, where the PGF is from equator towards pole. Okay, what is happening because of baroclinical curve with increasing height? We know pressure gradient force is what? Is increasing. As the pressure gradient force is increasing, which is increasing what called the velocity of the wind also, because stronger the PGF, more stronger will be the wind. Stronger wind means the speed of the moving air from equator towards the pole in upper atmosphere becomes stronger and stronger. We know Coriolis force is directly proportional to the what called velocity of the wind. The stronger Coriolis force, okay, stronger Coriolis force will be produced. So that means with the increase in height, PGF is increasing, velocity is also increasing, as well as what? Coriolis force is also increasing. Now we have seen four cases, okay, with increasing height. Case 1 is a lower height, then further more height, and more till both the forces become equal and opposite. Case 1, when, so this is the direction of PGF is little lower, and Coriolis force is here in this direction. Okay, but case 2, as the height increases, Coriolis force become further more, and the Coriolis force become also increases. As the height further increases in the case C, so the PGF is always from high to low. PGF become further high, Coriolis force become furthermore. It's try to do. At one particular height, say, look at the case D, where Coriolis force become equal and opposite to the PGF. When this situation arises, then both the forces balance each other, and the resultant wind start flowing parallel to what called the isobar. So this is one side is high pressure, and another side is what called low pressure. So this side is an low pressure, this side is what called high pressure. Wind move from high pressure to low pressure, and the resultant wind is moving parallel to the isobar. And such situation is called, or such kind of balance called geostrophic balance. The wind is called what? Geostrophic wind. Is it clear? Now, so in some particular height, at some particular height, this balance has been obtained, okay, and the wind start moving parallel to the isobar. That's what most of the jet stream you always say, they are parallel, flowing parallel to the isobar, and they are what? Geostrophic in nature. Now, because of this, we can say that what is happening to the global permanent winds. Okay, now this is the globe. Okay, now from equator, okay, from low pressure on the ground, and the upper is high, so it start moving towards the pole side. At 30-degree, what is happening? So there will be a turn will be there, okay, and as a result of this, so it start turning towards the right. In the southern hemisphere, turns towards the left. So around 30-degree north and south, So you will able to get the subtropical westerly jet stream. Westerly jet jet stream has been their subtropical jet stream or subtropical westerly jet stream has been obtained in both the hemisphere. Wind again moving in the upper atmosphere like this towards the pole only. So at 60 degree again start moving from west to east and become the polar jet, become the polar jet, and this is the 60 degree north and the 60 degree south. Okay, this is the permanent jet stream. So permanent jet stream arise due to the what called thermal contrast between the equator and the what called the polar situation. So equator is having the heat surplus as well as the polar is having the heat what called deficit, plus one more condition, rotation of the earth. This is the reason why which the permanent jet stream called polar jet as well as subtropical jet has been developed and why they are moving from west to east. Similarly, in for the tropical easterly jet stream, the thermal contrast is being produced because of the Himalayan Tibetan zone. If you are observing this Himalayan Tibetan zone, okay, this is a Himalayan Tibetan zone. So Himalayan Tibetan zone is the world highest topographic region. Okay, it's the world highest topographic region, isn't it or not? So now in this world highest topographic regions, guys, so what is this situation is arising now if you're observing this. So this in summers they received what called more insolation. Okay, and highest region receiving more insolation get heated up. As a result, low pressure has been developed and this start producing the wind system. They start producing what called wind system that is moving from the Himalayan side towards what called towards the southern Indian Ocean. Okay, southern Indian Ocean is cooler. Okay, so as a result, the pressure on this side is what called high. So this is in the ground condition. Upper atmosphere is different, and so wind start moving in upper atmosphere from the Himalayan Tibetan side towards southern Indian Ocean, and that is from the north to the southward. Now in the northern hemisphere, the deflection towards the right. What is the right of this? Right is like this. That's what this wind in the Indian side or Southeast Asia and South Asia is moving from east to west, and this is called as what? Tropical easterly jet stream. So one word in the prelims might be asked, why tropical easterly jet stream is developed? Answer is very simple. Because of Himalayan Tibetan zone behave like a heat engine, and this heat engine become more active in the month of June till what call September. Okay, other jet stream formation, especially the African easterly jet stream, which has been observed. Okay, which has been when we observed in this called Gulf of Guinea and the Sahara Desert, in the Sahara Desert. So what is the situation here? If you are observing this, guys, if you are observing this, so Sahara Desert in summers, okay, this is also observed in the summers. Okay, summers, and between June till the August month it has been observed. So in Sahara Desert become hot, okay, during the summer time. So because of this hot, it also developed hot intense low pressure system compared to what called Gulf of Guinea. So Gulf of Guinea is relatively remain the cooler. So as a result, the wind start moving from Sahara Desert towards the Gulf of Guinea in upper atmosphere, not in the ground. So, and this height is around 3 to 5 kilometers. That's why this is called as what? Low level of jet stream. Low level of jet stream. Okay, now this is responsible for what? For the monsoonal climate of this Western Africa coast, Western African coast. I hope you understood this. One more current this the jet stream has been observed. Okay, and this is called as the Somalian jet. Somalian jet, or also called cross equatorial jet, which you have already seen. The reason for its formation is what called the temperature difference between the highlands of Africa, which is relatively cooler, okay, and the in the warming or heating of the Madagascar island, Madagascar island, okay, is being developed. So now if you're observing the coast of the Africa, okay, coast of Africa, this is an island, okay, and this is a Somalian part, and this is a Madagascar. So, and now this is Mozambique channel. So heating is here, cooling is in the highlands part, okay. So as a result, one in the because of heating of the Madagascar, what kind of pressure has been developed? Low pressure has been developed, and the air start moving like this. So as a result, in the southern, all right, in the northern hemisphere, so this is an equator part. In the northern hemisphere, deflection to the right. So what is the right? It become from south west direction. So on the Somalian coast, the jet stream is moving from which direction? South west direction towards the northeast direction, and it is responsible for feeding the moisture to the Indian summer monsoon. Okay, and it is intense in the month of what? June till September only. So, and it is helping. So we can say that when Somalian jet is stronger, so Indian summer monsoon is also stronger, and it is causing good rainfall in the western part and southern part of India in the monsoonal season from the month of June till September.